Welcome back, junior analysts, to today's Explainer. Today, we're putting on our macroeconomic strategist hats to measure the pulse of the entire economy. How? By tracking total spending. We are tackling an absolutely foundational concept for your grade 12 SISC macroeconomics, the expenditure method. We're literally going to track every single rupee flowing through the economy to figure out our national income. So, let's dive right in.
Here's our quick roadmap for the session. We'll be looking at tracking aggregate demand, private final consumption, gross domestic investment, government and net exports, and finally, deriving final national income. Starting with Section 1, tracking aggregate demand and defining our core strategy. Okay, as a strategist, the very first definition you need to lock into your memory is this. The expenditure method calculates national income by estimating the sum total of expenditures on final products at market prices over a given year. Think of it like this. Instead of looking at what people earn or counting up what factories are producing, we're just looking directly at the cash registers. We're tracking what households, businesses, the government, and the rest of the world actually spend on finished goods and services. By shifting our perspective to add up all of these expenditures, we get a beautifully direct window into the nation's total economic output. Moving to Section 2, Private Final Consumption, where we analyze household expenditures. We can essentially isolate household spending into three simple buckets. First, you've got non-durable goods. These are used up quickly. Think of your weekly groceries or maybe your morning coffee. Second, we have durable goods. These are built to last a while, like a new television or a car. And finally, intangible services. This covers everything from taking a bus to banking to visiting the doctor. When you sum all three of these up, you get the total private final consumption expenditure. But you have to watch out for the nuances here because there's a classic grade 12 trap waiting for you. You might logically think buying a new house counts as household consumption, right? Well, actually, no. Purchasing a new house is completely excluded from consumption. But here's a fascinating twist. What about farmers who just eat their own crops or people living in houses they already fully own? Even though no actual cash changes hands there, we still estimate their market value. We calculate what's called imputed rent, basically treating homeowners as if they are renting the property from themselves, all so we don't accidentally underestimate the economy's true output. Section 3, Gross Domestic Investment. Let's track capital formation. Now, investment in macroeconomics isn't just about buying stocks, it's about building physical, productive capacity. This falls into three distinct subcategories. First up is gross fixed business capital formation. That's your new factories, machinery, and heavy equipment. Second is inventory investment, which is calculated super simply as closing stock at the end of the year minus opening stock. And third, residential investment. Remember our trap from earlier? This is exactly where those new house purchases belong because a home is a long-term asset providing a continuous flow of services over decades, not a quick consumable. Section 4, Government and Net Exports, covering public and foreign sector demand. The third massive component of aggregate demand is government expenditure. Governments spend a staggering amount of money just to keep a country running. This covers capital public investment, things like building dams, schools, or highways, and current consumption expenditure, which pays for defense, administration, and law and order. And this brilliantly highlights a really unique challenge in national accounting. How on earth do you value police protection? Because these public services completely lack a competitive market price, they are valued purely at their cost to the government. Finally, no economy exists in a vacuum, so we have to factor in net exports. This is just the raw mathematical difference between total exports, which we represent with an X, and total imports, represented by an M. We add whatever foreign nations spend on our goods, and then we deduct what our own citizens spend on foreign goods. This delicate balancing act ensures we are strictly measuring domestic production. Section 5, Deriving Final National Income. It is time to climb the macroeconomic staircase. You'll want to memorize this rhythmic sequence for your exams analysts. Step 1, sum up your four components: consumption, investment, government, and net exports. That gives you gross domestic product at market prices. Step 2, remember that physical machinery wears out over time. So we subtract depreciation to arrive at net domestic product at market prices. Step 3, market prices include taxes that distort true production costs, right?
So we net out indirect taxes to reach net domestic product at factor cost. And finally, step 4, we add net factor income from abroad to capture global earnings. Boom. You have just successfully derived national income, formerly known as net national product at factor cost. We started with everyday household groceries and ended by deriving the absolute ultimate metric of a nation's economic health. Remember this fundamental macroeconomic identity. National product equals income generated, which equals total expenditure. They are literally 3 sides of the exact same coin. So the next time you go out and buy a coffee, I want you to ask yourself, which component of aggregate demand did you just trigger, and exactly how will it ripple up that national income staircase? Keep thinking like a true macro strategist, and thanks for joining today's explainer.